I'm going to kind of touch on a few things, and the reason I do have all of this is just kind of an example of how I work. You can probably ask Ray this. Doesn't matter what it is, I usually go to our meetings with the research I've done, the information that's been provided, because Rod was correct that it was about 30 days into our let's see, January of 2013, and we were approached by our administrative services at that point to support a big, project that they've been working on for quite a while. We asked the questions, well, what's this for? Well, it's for, judging, it's for the judges, it's for our courts, it's, funding that we've been working on, and we really need that. At that point, my first 30 days into this great job, I trusted staff and found out less than, 2 weeks after that, so we signed the letter, but about 2 weeks after that, we found out that it was for that $19.5 million building. So we did. We put a stop to it. I learned that over in Olympia, came back, told my seatmates, look, this is for $19.5 million. This is not just a letter of support for some funding. And so at that point, we started digging into that project. So through that process, we looked at the report that was submitted to Olympia. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of clear up some information, misinformation. I'm going to put these reports on a table because everything I say here can be backed up with information. That's how I operate. And so when you've got a report that's filed in Olympia that says if the juveniles kick the door too hard, the door will come open. That's a liability issue for the county. Part of our job as county commissioners is to look out for liability. Liability and safety issues not only for the juvenile but also for staff. When you've got a report filed in Olympia that outlines the infrastructure or their structural damage, that's something we need to look at. If you look at this report, and I could go through all these little pretty pages and these marks that I have, it goes one item after another. In 2012, the state was supposed to start inspecting our facilities because there's a Prison Rape Elimination Act, also called PREA. We haven't had that inspection yet. Nobody followed up with that until we started asking those questions. So they, part of this that's in the report, operational limitations are due to facility being built in 1974. Current facility has 10 secure cells, original design capacity for 10 medium risk offenders. They house 20. Our question was, how do we, if we're approved for a 10-bed facility, how are we putting more than that in there? How many more kids, I should say? And they said, well, we put mattresses on the floor, blah, blah, blah. When we asked for the correct daily count of our juveniles for the last year, we still haven't received that information. Yep. We get an average daily population, which, doesn't tell us anything. There was a real good one in here, and I was going to mark it again so I didn't forget it. Okay, well, so I can't find it right now. Anyway, I'm going to leave this on the back table, but through all of this information that was submitted, and like I said, in Olympia, on record that if anything would have happened in our facility, there would have been a lawsuit so big, because anybody can point back to that report that is in Olympia. I feel that we were doing our job, the job you guys elected us to do, and that was to look into liability issues, safety issues, and to figure out how we are going to address all of those, because a lot of those are going to end up on the backs of every one of us, taxpayers. So what we've ended up doing is we held, I think it was like 6 months worth of public meetings, long 6 months, and tried to gather as much information as we could. The biggest pushback we got was from our own staff. And, but we ended up getting a lot more information from Martin Hall. They did make an offer. We did consider it. At that point, we felt if somebody takes the time to make an offer to us, it's our job to look into it rather than just saying no. Sheilah made an offer as well. So we did go look at that, got more information from them, were able to ask a lot more questions, and the very last night of our juvenile detention meeting, we decided to hold, kind of freeze everything the way it is right now. And we're going to take a step because we were getting hammered. And we knew that by looking back in the history, because it has been on the table for several years, that we didn't really have a complete record of why decisions were made prior to. And nothing that we can point to say, we have the best care, they're staying here. We have the best facility. So we thought, now's the time, let's draw that line, let's gather this information, and whatever decision we make will be based on the facts, and future commissioners can look at that and go back to that. So the last night, we started the meeting, Commissioner Campbell started the meeting, and made the announcement that we were going to freeze and get an engineer in to look at our facility structure and come up with a report and an estimated cost. And then that way we would know, have those doors been fixed? Have the locks been fixed? I mean, all of those issues that were identified in that report, kind of check them off to see what's left and what still needs to be fixed and the cost to that. We also said that we were going to get that PREA inspection. We're in the process now of going out for requests for qualifications to get those done. So we're still moving forward, but our typical meeting started at 6 o'clock, and then by 7:30 to 8, we had we provided the opportunity for public comment. And so our last meeting, about 7:15, the meeting was over. Gentleman came up to our podium, and he said, "Sheilah Kennedy?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm Sheilah Kennedy." And he says, "You've been served." "Ray Campbell?" I'm looking at Ray like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And Ray's looking at me like, "What's your problem?" And so he got served. At that point, and then the server came back and he goes, "Well, we need you to sign this paper." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Wait a minute, I have a question here." I said, "I've been here since 8:30 this morning. I haven't left. Didn't leave for lunch. We usually don't meet until 7:30 every night, 7:15. How did you know we were here?" I'm just shocked, Because meanwhile, while our discussion was going on, the judges, their wives, Mr. Rabideau, his wife, they were all in the audience. Some staff members of juvenile were in the audience. And so we knew something was going on. We weren't quite sure until we got served those papers. The guy's response was, it was our client's request to be here between 7:15 and 7:30 to make sure we served you. So, you talk about the political assassination. That is exactly what's going on. As of today, Commissioner Detro hasn't been served. As of today, we're still being sued individually for decisions that we've made as county commissioners. Tell me how fair that is. So Earlier today, 1:30, we had our first, well, let me back up just a second. So what this creates is a big picture that everybody here needs to understand, and that is this long-term impact. We now have our Superior Court judges suing us county commissioners, 2 of us, and so we have lawsuits filed. How is that going to impact 2 judges that have already filed a lawsuit against us, and those lawsuits, whether it's the comp plan, the zoning, the whatever, are we getting, I'm going to speak for me. I don't trust them. I don't trust them to hold the best interest of this county and every one of you in their hands to make a decision on any of the lawsuits that are filed in this county. It will be my suggestion that we go out of county, get another, fight that however we can. I can't trust them. Whether we win, they win, whatever, it's a no-win situation. We had a difficult time finding an attorney because our Superior Court judges are very active at the state level, and everybody knows everybody. And so we finally made a call to, at a prosecutor's office, make a call to Rob McKenna, and we hired Rob McKenna. Now, as the past Attorney General, he knows the constitutional impacts of this, and he also knows our rights. And he is 100% behind. We didn't do anything wrong, because it's not about the juvenile detention facility. It wasn't about having that discussion or even trying to gather the information from, basically both sides, just like those judges do every day on the bench. I felt that's what we were doing as leaders that you elected us to do. Gather the information, make the decisions. So we have Rob McKenna as of today at, and then we couldn't find judges to hear our cases. So we finally have a judge out of King County, and we, yeah, we're comfortable on that one. So we had our first hearing today, just to set a court date. And our court date is to hear our motion to dismiss this case, because it was based on the commissioners doing our job. By law, we're required to do, by RCW, Constitution, name it, to set salaries. Yep. And that's all we were doing. We denied the judge's request to give one individual a 15% raise. So, the other complications of this, if they happen to win, then what we are going to have to do, potentially, is give them a budget that they're asking for. Doesn't matter if their budget right now is, $800,000 a year. They ask for a 1.5. How are we going to not be able to do that if we lose this case? So this goes on, folks. But anyway, our first court date will be November 15th in Seattle.